Hello, welcome to Lessons My Son Taught Me. My name's Natasha,
I'm Quincy.
And I'm James.
and we are actually filming our very last episode. We have decided to do this because the time has come. We have had a decent run, and Quincy, of course, is preparing to finish up his senior year and go off to college shortly. So we invited his dad back, and his dad is going to be the one to lead us in a very riveting topic and conversation. And so let's get started, shall we?
Well, hello. And again, I would like to thank you guys for having me back. It was such a delight the first time that I was here. And today, like Natasha stated, we're going to be discussing the topic of progression. And as your child or your young adult progresses in their learning, their education, and their future, and is halfway out the door getting ready to go to college or whatever decision that they might make. Um, so, as we prepare today, Quincy and I, and Quincy's mother, Natasha, has also been involved in applications for different universities. And we have toyed around with different majors, things that he's naturally good at, things that he has a strong interest in, one of which is leaving the state and going somewhere else or the country if he has that opportunity. And what I'd like to discuss today is our involvement as parents, and when is enough enough?
Okay, very good.
So, Quincy, let me ask you, uh, how has your experience been with us being involved? And I also have to add in that his stepmom, Alicia, has also been involved.
hmm Yeah.
Um, so, how has it been? What is your thoughts, your honest and sincere thoughts?
Um, and regarding like the whole college process,
Everything, yes.
everything. Well, when it comes to everything, I'm extremely grateful. Since the beginning of my education, I have always had people who have been there to support me, who have helped me, um, whether that be, my mom and her being in the education system, helping me with things that she's also working on in my grade, or my dad, um, getting me books a couple grade levels ahead to make me better and stronger than most kids in my grade, or just other various factors. And it's been helpful, but it also comes with its fair share of, stress and just other factors. But I am overall grateful. I wouldn't be where I am without them. And a lot of kids, don't have that. Um, my mom tells me all the time growing up that her mom never did this. She never had anyone to help her through the college process or pick schools. So I think that in her helping me is kind of her fixing that, as we talked about before, that mother wound that she had with her mom. And my dad helping me is kind of the help that in ways he never got from his parents but wanted. And I find that special because you know it feels good. It feels good to be loved. Honestly, I think I'd be very lost without their help. So yeah, I am appreciative. um but yeah, I don't know, it feels like I'm at the end game now, so I don't know.
Well, you're at the next stage.
Yeah.
It's time to elevate into the next stage of your life.
hmm yeah.
So, same question for you, Natasha.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Again, just how have you felt this experience has been?
Okay. It has been fairly overwhelming. I had perhaps an unrealistic idea of how I thought this whole process was going to go, especially with me being in the education field. I imagined that ideally all of Quincy's applications would have been submitted by now. Um, if we had worked according to the timeline I had set in my mind, according to like my expectations. However, that's not how things um, have gone or played out. And I can't say, it's not my idea of fun. It certainly isn't my idea of fun, especially since it seems like a lot of the suggestions and ideas I had for Quincy perhaps a year or two ago are now seeming to come back around almost as if they were brand new ideas. And it's like, that's nice. Um, I'm excited for Quincy to experience this next um, part of his journey in life, going off to college. I think it's such a necessary time for young adults to experience because it's essential for growth, right? Being away from home, learning from your mistakes without the direct influence or supervision of your parents, being able to apply your critical thinking skills, being able to put into practice everything your parents have instilled in you over the years. That's what being away from home is. It's not just higher learning, it's really practicing to be a functioning adult in society. And that's probably what I'm most eager for Quincy to experience. I keep telling him, oh, 2 months until you turn 18, 8 months until you graduate. Not because I'm so eager to like get rid of him, but because I'm I'm looking forward to him gaining this new perspective, right? And having him share with me, you know what? Now that I've experienced this X, Y, and Z, I get what you were saying. And I want to be like, exactly. And I feel like we'll have a whole new set of things to talk about and discussions, um, which will be like the next level of our relationship. I'm really eager to get forward to that point.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I guess we can leeway into my opinion,
Of course.
which is by no means right or wrong, just like anybody else's. But I am from the point of view where college is not necessary anymore. When we were young, that is what was drilled into us. It was college, 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 college. You can't get a good job unless you go to college, unless you get a degree. And for some people, that also included an extra 4 years for them to get their master's or doctorate. Uh, but now, things have changed. Things have changed in the job markets. Employers are looking for experience more so than your education or degree, which means that there has been a higher enrollment in trade schools or simply professional driven schools that require less time and less money. And I can say I'm a product of all of it. I have gotten my degree at a university. I've gotten another degree at community college. I have done the professional schools and gotten licenses. And what I have found is that going to a university might not necessarily be a waste of time, but as far as getting out into the real world and working, making, the desired amount of money that you would like to make, uh, I would have taken a different route if I had the chance to go back in time.
And if I just may speak to the counterpoint of that, there are a lot of vital social skills that can be gleaned from attending college.
Mhm.
How to cohabitate with people, how to really socialize with people from various backgrounds. And I know you come from a place that's clearly very diverse, but really live among them, really immerse yourself among them, learn from them at an academic level, in an academic setting, debate with them. It's something that um, is not to be taken for granted, of course. It's an opportunity to, join different organizations. So that is where I joined, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. It is a place where you can certainly pursue organizations or interest groups that lead into your career field of choice and network, right? This is almost like your first real chance to network in the real world, right? And make meaningful, oftentimes lifelong connections that aren't the same as your childhood connections or your high school friendships. So your dad definitely has a point. Employers are looking for experience, and that is definitely the bottom line when it comes to being able to make money. And as we all know, and my dear friend Jen Lazar just told me this yesterday, money isn't everything. Um, that theoretical knowledge, the ability to have very high level conversations and intellectual debate with my peers in an academic setting is something that I really value. The ability to finally put to use my vocabulary was really fun. And just challenge yourself and grow is still something I hold in high regard. And I appreciated going to college probably a lot more than I did my high school experience. It was a lot more memorable.
It's like, how can I explain it? Honestly, this college experience, trying to do college, signing up for it, applying to them, it's not been great. It's not at all. Um, it's really hard because, and I know every single person who has been to college can relate to this, whether you have or you haven't. You have to make a choice, whether that be a gap year, whether you go to college or whether you go to community. It's all the same. You have to make a choice. And unfortunately, that relies on financial means. I think that when you're young, you get told that you should dream and you should do anything you want to, right? But as you get older, you're kind of brought into reality. And I think that that's something that a lot of people struggle with, um, whether that be family or friends or anyone. And it's really hard because, parents, they expect greatness out of you, but they also want you to do what you want to do. But at the same time, if you do what you want to do and you're not making money, then it's it's difficult. And I think that, when you signed up for graphic design, you expected to make money out of it and to do great things. And then you, of course, unfortunately did not. And now your opinion is for me to not go to college, even though it was a great social experiment, not a social experiment. social experience. And you did, I think it was
Political
political
science.
science. Yes.
And I do not regret it.
Yeah. And now you're a teacher. And but you, it's just like a thing. Like and honestly, I feel like students can relate everywhere. You don't know where you're going to end up, and you don't
No.
know where you're going to be. I do agree that college, I is going to be a time for socialization, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't
But
know
for
what I'm trying to say.
learning and
Yeah,
growth.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of mental thinking, mental turmoil. I don't know what I'm trying to get
No, you're
here,
saying
but
it. I understand.
um, I don't know. I think money is a real thing, and I know your friend Jen Lazar. I hope I said your name right.
Miss Jen
Miss
Lazar.
Jen Lazar said that money isn't everything, but honestly, I think it is.
That's fair.
God said that the root of all
The
evil, the
love
love
of
of money,
money.
is the root of all evil,
Yes.
and you
Not
can't.
money itself.
Yes, and you can't love money because that's the root of all evil. But honestly, without money, where would we be, right?
Hmm.
You ain't lying.
Where are we right now? We're in a very big.
All right. We in a nice spot.
I'm not going to say too much. Money is very important. But honestly, I think that people conform to society, whether that be the rat race or whatever, because they can't do it. They can't do what they want to do, and I find that so painful.
Yes. Okay. I understand what you're saying. You're struggling with the fact that you would love to do what you have a passion to do without having to worry about money. But you understand that everything's got a cost in this world. And just a couple days ago, like you said, oh, I thought Nova was free. And I told you, baby, ain't nothing in this world free.
Which is why I haven't finished the applications, or why I switched, my major, because, at the end of the day, it's most likely not going to end up making me money after I get out. So I'm stuck.
No, I completely understand that. And as long as you have an interest and a desire to work within the field that you're, you know, applying to, that's the starting point, right? As long as you practice it or become good at it, that's the next point. Gain employment in it, okay, that's the next step. Like don't I don't want you to be caught up on I need to be very strategic and get go into the best major so that I can graduate and start off from graduation making precisely this much money so I can feel comfortable. It's not going to work like that. And success is not linear for anybody. No one. Absolutely no one. You are going to have moments where you struggle. You just are. Yeah. I love you. I think you're amazing, but you're not special. Okay? In the sense that you will have a lot of shared experiences that everyone in this world has had, including your father, including me, people that you have never met, because it is a part of the human experience and it is only designed to make you a more resilient person. And it's nothing against you. It's not going to be like, oh, why me? Because it's like, why not you? I mean, why not you? You built for it. How you gonna flip it and reverse it? How are you going to overcome this? So don't try not to sweat it too much. See it through, and you'll figure it out along the way. You just gotta get the applications done, figure out where you land, and it's gonna change 50, 11 times before it's even finished, to be perfectly honest. But you'll cross those bridges or that bridge or what have you when you get there. But you may or you may not be, you know, set with the perfect job after you graduate. It's whether or not that happens is neither here nor there. There's no wrong or right way to go about life. If there was, we would all be doing it and we would have no complaints. But alas, we're here. I mean, I like where I am right now, so I won't complain. But back to you, James.
Well, I do have to say that I agree with some of the things you guys said. I also disagree with some of the things you guys said. There is a wrong way to do life, and we know people firsthand who are continually choosing the wrong way.
That's fair.
Now, I agree with you everything that you said about college and what you learn. Because it's not just education. You do learn social skills, and you learn how to communicate with people. And these days, everybody's in their phone and electronics. They don't know how to communicate anymore.
Yeah.
So that is important. One other deciding factor, and I'll also say that everybody comes from different walks of life. Your position and the decisions that you make is all determined about what type of foundation you have, what type of backing you have. Not everybody has the means to go to college.
Yeah.
Not everybody has the knowledge to know how to apply to a college. But these days, the economy is so terrible. Everything is so expensive that you really have to think hard about going to college. We know somebody who just started college, and their parents was telling me that if they didn't pay out of pocket, they would be paying the equivalent of a mortgage. And that's not how much college cost when you and I went to school. So, this is a hard decision to make. And figuring things out earlier nowadays is more important than it was when we were in college, because the cost of living is so high, especially in this area. So you don't want to have to make so many left turns, right turns, detours along the way. You want to try to figure out, okay, this is what we're going to do. Like you and I have talked about how AI is taking over everything. And you just said Chat GPT. You use Chat GPT. I use Chat GPT. Okay. Chat GPT said that over 8 some million jobs are going to be gone by next year because of AI. And right or wrong, it is happening. So, going into school, you have to figure out what will AI not affect within the next 10, 20 years. Because a lot of people are losing jobs based off of that. And it's a real thing. It's realistic.
You can go into education with me. I got you.
As soon AI is going to be taking over that.
Child, please. Y'all still want to
Listen.
send y'all kids to school?
Yeah, of course. But the teachers won't have to be there.
We're going to be there. Y'all
Well,
are going to send your children to school. They need adult supervision, not robot supervision.
Regardless, you're right in some aspects.
I'm right.
Anything emotionally driven, AI can't do right now. But in my field, trucking, you have self-driving trucks. That takes the driver out of the situation.
That requires no emotion.
Let's talk about the ports that have just been under scrutiny for the strikes, right? They're all automated. They're all becoming automated. Containers coming off the ships, containers being put onto trains and trucks is all automated. People are losing their jobs left and right. That's why I have read recent articles about youth, young kids, young adults who are leaving this country because the cost of living is too high and they can't find employment to cover that. So they're opting to do remote jobs and go live somewhere where it's less.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for Quincy to explore that as well.
Yeah. So the factors that surround all of this and the decision making that goes on is different from when we were young. And I think that if you just listen to all of us, I know we all have differing opinions, but if you listen and you take in the good and spit out the bad, you'll have a leg up than what we had. Because I myself went into everything blindly. I wish somebody told me about the job opportunities and the career opportunities for the major that I chose. Because if I knew that it was going to be how it was, I wouldn't have done it. I would have chosen something different. And like I said, me, you, my brother, a lot of people we know went to school for a specific major. And no, I don't think that any of us changed our major while we were in school, but none of us are doing anything that we went to school with.
Yeah, but I don't care for you including me in that. Um,
But is it the
self
truth?
statistic. It is on the surface. The only reason why I didn't end up becoming a delegate, so on and so forth, is because while I was in college and I had the opportunity to participate in, um, you know, the student government body and Model United Nations and going to the General Assembly, I actually got to witness how legislation was being discussed, and I did not care for seeing these legislators argue and how petty they were. And I was like, these aren't the type of people I want to work with.
Hmm. So there you
i
just
would like
made
to
my point.
I would like to finish.
Okay.
um, I know I would love to create legislation that impacts people of color and women of color specifically, but I think I'm good on working with these type of people. And I love my classes. I love what I'm learning. I love the history of politics. I'm not going to change my major. Instead, what I'm going to do is figure out another way to be involved in the political process without going into the political field, because I've decided it's too petty for me, but I'm too much in love with my major to switch it. So that's why I tell you all the time, I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. Still thrills and fascinates me. So what did I do? I became an election officer for years. I became an assistant chief election officer. I became a chief election officer. Like, you could have never told me I would have been responsible for an entire polling place, like getting it to and from, making sure the ballots were counted. That was an honor for me. And I would have never had that love for that part of the political process had I not been a poli sci major. So you you can count me in it, but I don't count me in it.
Okay. Well, that's fair. And as I was stating, Quincy, that is a perfect uh, uh, example of changing your mind, switching gears. And look at me now. I'm 41, and I'm starting over in a new field. So you will be successful no matter what you do. Uh, it's just how you go about doing it.
Yes, very well said. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have anything else
Um,
that you wanted to say, Quincy?
I mean, when it comes to that, yeah, I understand. I think that there are so many possibilities of what someone could be. Like you said, everyone walks a different path. Everyone is different, but we're all the same at the same time. We go through the same human emotions, human experiences. Not to say that anyone is special, because you got people are special, but they're not.
And you know
Um,
you're still special to me, Quincy. Like, I saw you tear up a little bit when
I
I said you weren't special, but
Nah, I'm humble. I know I'm not special, but
okay.
um, and I think that the biggest thing for me is success.
Of course.
Um, I would. The only reason I have that mindset, I guess, and it's so conflicting and so confusing, because at the end of the day, you want to do what you want to do, but you want to do it in a way that is not only financially okay. Like, the only reason I don't want to be here, you know. keeping it real, I hate
You don't want to be where?
in this
Please
country.
clarify.
In this
Yeah,
country,
I
I
know.
guys, that's it.
Yeah,
I'll just say something. I don't like personally. I don't know how to say this without offending a whole bunch of people, but I don't like this country. You know,
You ain't for nobody.
but I'm lucky to live here. I'm lucky to
For
live
sure.
where I live in this county. But I just don't want to be here. I would rather be somewhere else, experiencing different cultures, different people,
Okay.
and experiences. But I still find it hard because at the end of the day, this is not going to bounce off of me. It's just going to bounce back off of you. And if I go to college for something that I end up not doing in the future, that's only going to add to the guilt that I have of not being successful in what I choose to do and spending 4 years at a place that takes 200 grand out of my family's. Like, how am I supposed to repay that back and then also repay them for everything that they've done, And
Let me interrupt you. First off, we have gone over this many a times. You are our dependent, right? So we're going to help you as much as you can. Nobody said anything about you having to pay anything back, right? Uh, what I would tell you is, give it out. Whatever success you find, help somebody else out. And I will definitely say that I do believe in the power of Jesus and God. Whatever He has in store for you, you have to believe that it will happen. If you're supposed to go make an impact in Japan or Africa or wherever, you have to believe that that's what God has in store for you, and He will make a way for it. You understand?
Wrapping up, any last words of wisdom or thoughts?
Well, I will say that this being your guys' last show for the foreseeable future, coming full circle with Quincy, today's the 5th. So exactly 2 months from becoming a legal adult. I think that we did a very good job raising him.
We did.
And everybody that was involved and who Quincy became and is today. We are very proud of you. You are everybody's prime example.
Yep, he is the prototype.
Everybody's. I get tired of him. I'm not saying this because I'm his father. Like, they really do say, "Oh, why can't you be more like Quincy?" Talking to their kids. I'm like, but that speaks to us. That speaks to everybody who was involved in your upbringing.
Yeah.
And no matter what, like, I always tell people, I'm not worried about Quincy. I have other children that I don't know about yet, but
Don't do that to them.
But Quincy, I'm not worried about. Whether you're here, whether you're in another state, whether you're in another country, you are who you are, and you're going to be okay.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't be worried. As hard as you are on yourself, you got to stop that.
For sure. I agree. Quincy, like, you are that dude. I don't have too many words for you because, I pour them all out in the cards I give you often, but you just are that dude. And whatever you end up doing or going into, you will be fine. And just, go for ultimately what's going to make you happy and make you feel fulfilled. I am happy to say that I am at a point in my life where I feel like I am fulfilled and I am living within my purpose. Like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I want you to feel that way about the goals that you set for yourself as well.
When it comes to you guys, I love you guys very much, and I'm very happy and I'm very grateful. And I know you guys said not to worry about repaying you guys, but that's I want to. It's not that I feel that I have to. It's feel that like I want to, like, genuinely. But wrapping up, I feel like this whole series, the common theme that I have seen is just love. I honestly, personally, I don't think that there's enough. in the world at all, especially right now, the times that we're in. There's not enough. With issues, that you've had with your parents, issues that you've had with yours, um, that have trickled down into me or have trickled down from generations and generations over time. I think that all we've needed is love. Your mom was not that way because of she is. It was because of her mom or her dad, and over and over and over again. So just like break generational, break that chain, yeah, that curse, and just love.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we love you so much, Quincy.
Yeah, we love you.
Okay.
And we're proud of you.
Yay. Thank you.
And we are very eager to see what your future holds.
Indeed. All right. Wrap it up.